Today. Well, first, how about health tips? If you can't get antibiotics, and even though they're like extremely cheap, I mean they're so cheap, it's ridiculous. But there's this huge movement online about saying that we should let people die from infections because we're creating superbugs. And so, but if you have half of a brain, which I have at least half a brain, you realize that if you're inducing evolution, then it's a natural path. That is the ultimate end result of the bug to begin with. So that's not going to change. And removing antibiotics out of people's ability to buy them, like forcing them to get a doctor's prescription, but then delivering them by the truckload for cattle and feed and pigs and stuff. Yeah, welcome to America. Welcome to America. Anyway, I can't get antibiotics that often, and I have chronic sinus infections and throat infections. And it's just never ending, and it's painful, extremely painful, because it gets in your upper sinuses, it gets behind your eye. So, garlic. You crush a garlic up, let it set for 15 minutes, and then put honey on it. And it's just garlic and honey. Now, I actually put like 3 garlics in here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, because it's pretty... this is a good antibiotic, and it helps. It helps, It's better than nothing, but it's definitely not as strong as taking an antibiotic that will get in your bloodstream. This will get in your bloodstream, but it will help your body. It's not going to... by the way, use raw honey. Raw. Because that processed stuff that they have at the store is... it's not good for you. It's not good at all. Because they filter all the nutrients and everything else out of it. And all it is just sugar. It's sugar and bee vomit, basically. And there's no pollen in it. There's none of the good stuff in it. Bees actually make a natural antibiotic and an antifungal that's in the sugar, and you won't get that if it's been homogenized. So, raw, unfiltered honey with garlic. Let it set 15 to 30 minutes, depending on your tolerance, because it will burn. It will burn your mouth, and it'll burn back your throat. But if you have chronic sinus infections, like I do, this will help you. Another kitchen tip. If you have to pay for garbage disposals every year, which this was a thing for me, because the garbage disposal would rust out and it would break and would scare the crap out of the dog. Would think there was something living inside there. So use automatic transmission fluid. You just buy a quart of it for like $3 at your auto store or your local shop mart store, whatever, whatever you want to call it. I'm not giving you brand names there. Just pour it every 3 months. Pour about 1/4 of a cup down there while it's on, of course, and let it lubricate everything and get it in there, and then wash it down with some water. That'll prevent your garbage disposal from dying out and rusting, and it'll keep it lubricated. And I haven't had to replace my garbage disposal in almost 10 years after I started doing that. And pots. This thing was, it had all kinds of black stuff, carbon deposits on the bottom, and it was impossible. You could not scrub it. It didn't matter if you used a wire brush or not, it would not come off. I mean, you could probably use a chisel and a blowtorch. All I did was soak it in some water and about a teaspoon of potassium hydroxide, which is commonly now called sodium hydroxide, but it actually is potassium hydroxide. And the reason why, a little backstory for that, potassium hydroxide is made from ashes of wood. So you take your fire ashes, right, and they still do this. People who live out in the woods still do this because it's essential. It's essential to have soap so you don't kill yourself. When handling meat or handling things that are have fungus on them, etc., etc. They don't do this. Nowadays, it's not modern, so most people don't know about it. When you burn the ashes, when you burn the wood and you take the ashes, you put it in a pot and you soak the water in the ashes. Now that was called potash water, or potash. This is where they get the word potassium from. Potassium, of course, is from potash water. Most people don't know that. It's a little obscure fact. That potassium water was then mixed with oil, just any type of oil, and what you get is a chemical reaction called saponification, which creates soap. Not liquid soap. You need another chemical to create liquid soap, but it is soap. That's what will create a bar soap. You'll create hard soap. So, another thing about potassium hydroxide is that if you have any metal cooking and you soak just a tiny bit, all you need is like a teaspoon of it. You soak it. You fill the water up to the point wherever the black stuff is in your thing, your pan. You soak it, and it'll only take about 30 minutes. And then you just take a brush, any type of scrub brush, and you just do it like that, and it'll look brand new. It'll look like you just bought it. And you don't even have to hardly scrub because it literally comes off. And it's the only way to do it. You need some kind of chemical cleaner, and soap won't do it because no matter how much you scrub with soap, it's not going to clean it. You need the potassium hydroxide to do it because it creates a chemical reaction, and it lifts the carbon right out, away from the metal. And that's it. Those are my tips for today.